So in this video I'm going to run through with you how to create a form in Access and how to create a form with a subform. As you already know, forms are used to input data into your database. So from the database, I've opened up the Fixit database. I'm going to go to Create and I'm going to choose the Form Wizard. This isn't the only way you can create a form, it's just the way I'm going to show you in this video. The wizard will start. So I want a form that will allow me to add a new teacher to the database, to the teacher table. So I choose Table Teacher from the drop down. I don't want the teacher ID, that's an auto number, so it will automatically add a teacher ID to the database when I add a new teacher, but I do want their title, first, last, address details, and phone number and mobile number. So I've added those fields to the right hand pane. Click Next. The layout I'm going to go for is the column layout. Next. And then finally, what title do you want? Now this becomes the name of the form, so I'm going to call it FRM Teacher and Finish. There we are. So we have a form that shows us the contact details for each of the teachers. We need to make a few changes. We need to change the title of the form, and I want to add some buttons to the form to make navigation a little easier. So right click on the orange tab, go to Design View. Let's click into the header and give it an appropriate title. There we go. Down here in the form footer, I'm just going to drag the form footer down. I would like to add some navigation buttons to the form footer. You can see I'm in Form Design Tools, and under the Design tab on the ribbon you have this Controls section. I'm going to choose the button from the controls. Okay, that drawing the button onto the form triggers the button wizard, and I would like to add from Record Operations the Delete Record button, so I can delete a teacher. Next, let's have text rather than picture. Next, and a meaningful name for the command, and Finish. And we now have a button on the form which would delete a teacher. Show you that one more time. Choose a button, draw the button on. Let's go for Record Operations again, add new record, so adding a new teacher. Next, let's add text again. Next. Note I'm still using camel case in the naming for commands as well as for tables, forms, reports, queries and so on. Finish. Two buttons. If I just right click on the orange tab and go back to Form View, so I've now got two buttons on the form. If I go to Add Record, it brings up a blank form. If I go back to a teacher and delete record, okay, I could delete that particular teacher. Now I have got some layout issues with this form. I could do with sorting them out because I can't quite see all of the information clearly in one screen. My buttons are sitting over the top slightly, but I could sort those out later. That's how you create a single form. Right, let's close that. Let me show you now how to create a form with a subform. So Create, Form Wizard. This time I'd like a form which will allow me to view customers and the lessons they've booked, and also add lessons to a customer's, book lessons in for a customer. So I'm going to start with Table Customer, and we'll have title, first, last, and let's add their address. Let's add all of the information apart from customer ID. And then I'm going to choose table lessons from the drop down. Choose the date of lesson, start, end, times, duration and lesson type. Put teacher ID in. Next, so it's asking me how I want to view the data. So I want to view it with table customer above and then their lessons underneath as a subform. So the form with subform option is ticked. Click next. Datasheet layout is fine. Next again. Titles for your form. So I'm going to call that one FRM customer details and the subform FRM sub lessons, and finish. There we go. So we now have the main form, the customer details, and underneath a list of the lessons that have been booked. And I can add a lesson in for a customer. There we go. Let's put my number lock on. You see, again, you can see there is some horizontal scrolling required. Now that would be undesirable, so let's just assign this teacher to this lesson. I can go into design view, alright, and I can play around with the layout to ensure that everything fits. So make this a bit bigger. Let's see what that does. There we go. And I could add buttons either up here in the header, change the title as well, or down in the footer. So that is a form with a subform. Now you need one of each in your project, a form and a form with subform.